Offer buyer, thank you so much for joining me in Toronto, February 6th, 10 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's a long day for senior executives of corporations to join us as our guests. That's an expensive day, for so many hours. So can you tell me a little bit about what is this about, Human 3.0? Why should anybody care to be there? Why should somebody spend so much time? And then after you tell me all that, tell me about who are you?
That will come in the end. That's not important. Well, let's talk about Human 3.0. Let's look at what is happening basically around the world. Okay, if you go to some countries like China and other countries, you will see that half of the cars now are being electric cars. Within the next 5 years, half of the cars will be cars which are driverless, right? So we're not going to drive, which means a lot to the market, which means a lot of people will lose jobs. We know that 850 million people are going to lose jobs in the next 5 years. So what is the meaning of it? And I think the meaning is very important. The meaning is that only smart jobs will be left, because everything that is not so smart will be automated using AI and robotics. And it's happening faster than we thought. Okay? So if you look around the world, everything is moving very fast. And whatever you think that will happen in 10 years, it means that your brain is not a constable to understand how fast the world works, because our brain works a little bit slower than the advancement of technology and economical changes. So when we look, let's say, the school systems we came from, or people, or our kids who go to school today, they're learning basically almost the same material like in 1960. Just to understand that 100 years ago, there were like maybe 10 innovations per year who changed the world. Today, you have 100 innovations per day. Every innovation takes jobs of people.
Wow.
If I sit in MIT and I develop a robot chef, and it gets almost like two stars, Michelin stars, it means that probably around 10 million chefs will lose their jobs soon.
Sure.
And because of competition, you will need those robots, because the competition is growing, and you will need to lower your costs. So a robot chef will cost probably less than a chef. So the moment this happens, it has an impact on the economy, because the cycle of funds is moving in different direction. Okay? So now that we understand it, and we know that the school systems did not create the right people to the right market. Let me give you another example. I met a guy who is leading IBM in Europe. And we met at a gathering of the European Commission. And when Maya and me were there, talking about education and education of adults and kids, and this guy told me that they are investing on teaching people how to code, and 75,000 people are being trained every year by IBM. Only 1% of them are being hired, not because they don't need any. Yes, they need all the 75,000. But none of them are good enough, because their brain didn't go through the evolution to become a 3.0 brain.
Wow.
So you can teach somebody to code, but it's not the kind of coders we need. Let's look at another example. Let's look at Amazon for a second, and this will be the last example. Amazon hired 11,000 software engineers in the last year, just for one product. They are paying $300,000 per year for those people. Why? Because they become a part of what we call a research and development group of Amazon. Just to understand, whatever robots can do, you are being paid $12 per hour. So if the brain will not be developed fast, now, yesterday, not tomorrow, to become a 3.0 brain, most of us will lose our jobs. and will not be able to survive in the market.
Mm.
And we are talking about 5 to 10 years from today. So there is no time. And this kind of a brain is something we have to work hard now and fast to develop our employees, to develop our managers, to develop our children, and to develop different human brain for this fast-growing market. Because if not, competition will kill us. We see when Amazon hired 11,000 people for $300K each, it means that Amazon can hire. And why Amazon wanted to pay so much? Because most people who are getting 150,000 will be happy to work for 300,000. I'm sure most of them.
Sure.
And that's how you get the best people in the world to work for Amazon, which means that Amazon will continue to kill the market and control the market because it can. We need really smart people. We need people that can develop, people that can research. And we don't need people with knowledge. We need people with skills.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. We need people. We don't need people with knowledge. We need people with skills. I love that. I love that saying. So I'm a senior executive in a very large Canadian corporation. I'm not going to name them, just so people don't feel insulted. I'm making $450,000 as my base salary. I've got a bonus coming in. Why would I care about coming in and spending a day with team or an offer? I'm making a good income, and if you fire me, no problem. I've got a few dollars in my bank account.
Well, you don't have to. You just must. That's the biggest difference. If you think that you know what's happening in the market and you have the skills, there's no need. However, if you don't know what the skills are, and if you don't understand what blockchain and AI means, deeply understand why university is teaching now blockchain, for a degree. We need to understand why it's happening. And if you just understand on the surface what's happening, you're doomed. So you don't have to come, you just must come.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because tomorrow it will touch you, and I will explain. The world, as I see it, within the next 5 to 10 years, will be divided to 3 elements. One will be the human part, then the artificial intelligence part, and then automation and robots.
I love it.
Human will touch only one field, the creative process, the innovative process, or what we call research and development. Human with no ability for research and development and innovation abilities using that knowledge will not manage the market. You see, AI can manage everything.
That's true.
AI is a great manager based on data, and decision-making processes, that is quite good enough. AI can manage your employees better than you in many cases.
That's true.
Because you don't know if your employee now was on Facebook or not. But AI can follow your employee everywhere he goes and to tell you exactly what he's doing every second.
Scary, and that's true.
Scary, yes, but that's true. Exactly. So in order to see if we are productive enough, we will implement some kind of, technology on the screens we're working on, and we'll see how productive the person is. And if he's not productive, the AI will fire him because it will have evidence.
I love it.
And not guesswork of a manager that still thinks in the models of the 1960s.
I love it. I love it.
I caught him, so I said to him, never do it again. That's not the way you manage in the world of data.
I love it.
Data analysis is so crucial because it gives you the exact data you need for the exact decision making.
I love it.
No, it's not creative. No, it does not have compassion. No, it does not have passion. Of course, there are things that's still left for us. And in the R&D field, you need passion and compassion.
I love it. I love it. Right.
So now AI can manage almost everything. I lost 12 kilos because of AI. The cost was less than $20. If I had to go to somebody who's an expert on diet, it would have cost me $4,000. to lose the same weight. It took me 6 weeks to lose 12 kilos.
Wow.
And I was eating a lot. This is what AI can do for us. So if there is a machine now that can do massage, technology, a robot can do massage. And this woman is telling me, but I can do better than the machine. And I ask her, have you tried it?
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Very cool. So tell me about February 6th. What's the whole day about?
The whole day will be about a couple of things. First, an introduction to human development. Second, we will have some techniques that we're going to work on, like a workshop. You sit in couples, you sit in 4 people together, let's practice. So it's not about just learning, it's about practicing. And then we'll talk about the outcomes. We'll have a discussion on human development. And I can give you some examples of it. So the first part of the day will be simple, about what is it, what we're talking about, and the why. The second part will be about the how, okay? And the last part will be about creating insights and questions and answers to really understand where we are heading to. We, I mean all the people in the room, where the world is heading to and what must be taken care of. And there are two concepts that I will share basically, or I would say 3 of them. The first concept will be education of kids. The moment you will know how to educate and coach your child, you will be able to educate yourself. Because you're giving him the skills of 2040. And you need them, by the way. It's the same. So we'll talk about coach your child models with the skills of 2040. The second thing we'll talk about how to coach ourselves, our employees, so we can lead. You see, in competition, you must lead. That's competition. In competition, there's a leader, and there are losers, or those who are falling behind. Leadership is about competition. If you want to lead, somebody has to take care that the team that you have is totally productive and has extract the biggest talents of themselves. How do you extract the talents from your employees? And there are a couple of good reasons for it. First of all, if you want to grow, you need better employees. That's what Amazon is doing. 300K, and that's it. And they got the best ones. So you want to have the best employees. Sometimes you can hire them. If you cannot hire them, train them, because it's cheaper. But how do you train them? What is the best way to coach our employees, to train them? The training models of the past, they don't work that well. So you put 20 people in a room and you train them, most of them forget 70% of what was told in the workshop. It doesn't work that way. It must be trained every day. Imagine you could coach every hour your employee. Imagine it would have taken only 30 seconds to coach him every hour. Imagine that his productivity will grow by 300%. You know what it means? Even if it grows by 25%.
Think about it.
You don't need 5 employees, you need only 4. Now, the cost of the coaching part, okay, is half of the cost of getting rid of 1 employee.
Wow.
Or if you have 5 of them and on all of them can do 25% more, now you got 125% more instead of hiring another one and a quarter employee. You don't have to hire more. You can stay with the same number. So this productivity and creativity level, and creativity because we need solutions. We compete in a competition. You must create something new every second. You need those to be trained. Can you train somebody every hour for 30 seconds? And why to spend an hour in coaching every week when he's not adapting even 10% of the knowledge instead of adapting 100% of the knowledge every hour or every day? So this will be the second part. The third part, okay, this is the employee coaching. I call it coaching by measurement. Of course, measurement, because we talk about data. Everything should be managed. Everything should be measured when you coach someone. Everything. You need to see, this is the skill, this is the investment, this is the outcome. This is the skill, this is the investment, this is the outcome. So I will talk about that. And the last part will be how we create teamwork. of a higher level. Because without teamwork, smart teamwork, it's not enough that every employee is so productive. It's like a guy who can play basketball with himself. I mean, he can hold full score, but he's not a team player. So how do you create those teams that fight for you to succeed in the market? Because it's a teamwork that has to compete.
I love it.
Competition will be very hard because most companies will be able to hire AI machines and robotics and everything else. The only thing that will be left, we need really, really smart human. So we need smart human to have around us. And we need to be also good human.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? Part of the day.
Thank you. Tell me a little bit, tell my audience a little bit about who you are.
I'm Ofer Breyer. I was born in Israel, in a country where you're supposed to fight, because you don't have any other option. It's a country of research and development. Most of the biggest companies in the world have their research and development in Israel, including Microsoft, Intel, and everybody else. And why is that? Because our top 1% of the population is highly developed. Not other population, no. Highly developed. And why they're so highly developed? Because we start to develop them at the age of 8 to become the top 1%.
Wow.
Why? Because there is a special unit in the Israeli army that takes care of this country, and it's the cyber unit of Israel. It's being called 8200. You can read about them on the internet. Don't worry, it's nothing, secret about this unit. The secret is the sauce. What do we do with those kids? Those kids go for the army for 5 years. They care that a very small country with very few people, with a very, very, very small army, will have the ability to win the battle against 1 billion around us.
Wow.
Okay. Now, this unit is based on technology and data analysis. These kids at 18, they're geniuses in technology and data analysis, as well as cyber was one part of it. Those kids, when they are 24, they build startups. They have the courage to do it. They know they have the sense of urgency, because in Israel, if you don't have sense of urgency, the missile will hit you. And it's every year, it's every time, again and again. They know how to work very fast, very accurate, very productive, highly creative, and they sell startups. Sometimes even for like $10, $20 billion a startup. Sometimes.
Wow.
Sometimes only 1 billion. Only. These are the kids. In Israel, it's a necessity for survival. But I think the tsunami is coming anyway to the whole world as an economic tsunami. So we all will have to fight. So I was a part of the education system of Israel. I was head of a jazz department, music, jazz, and I trained more than 3,000 professional musicians around the world. If you go to New York, Paris, or anywhere else, and you say my name, people will know my name. 20 years ago, I made a research on how talent is being developed, not talent in music, a multi-talent personality. I was a part of training people, kids in Israel, who became a part of these units. I was working with Israeli startups in Silicon Valley, in Detroit, in Germany, in other countries, helping startups to grow fast and with the human side of it, of course. Okay, understanding business models, of course, but most of the case was the human development part. And I built a couple of schools. I built this jazz school for jazz, school for rock, school for career development, school for entrepreneurs, and school for business development. These are all the schools that I've built in the past. In the past years, I've been traveling around the world. In the past 2 years, I initiated a huge organization around the world, which is growing very fast, to develop the kids for 2030 and 2040. This is what we are doing. And so we started in the Czech Republic. We started with 500 kids and 20 teachers. Within 1 year, we had 3,000 kids and 100 teachers. Now we're growing to hundreds of thousands in other countries like Korea, Singapore, and Peru, and other places. Amazing. So it's a mission to make those kids to survive. So I'm just an educator. That's all.
Offer, thanks so much for being my business partner. Thank you for trusting me. Thanks for giving me an entire day of your time to speak to my friends and my family and my audience. And I look forward to seeing you February 6th.
It will be an honor for me to share the knowledge. Thank you, Taimur.